Hey guys, it's Allie, and I'm here today with a book review of The Silver Linings Playbook by Matthew Quick. So this is going to be pretty non-spoiler. Most of it will just be general plot things, but I'm going to talk about the book really quickly, and then I'm going to talk about the movie and just my thoughts in general. I finished Silver Linings Playbook last night, and I haven't been able to get it out of my head all day. It was honestly just a delight. It's really short chapters, so it goes by pretty quickly. It's only 289 pages, and it's really a light read. Alright, so what really got me with this whole story was the main character and our narrator, Pat Peoples. He was recently released from a mental health facility in Philadelphia after he had a falling out crime with his wife, Nikki, and he doesn't remember it in the book. He doesn't remember it. If you've seen the movie, you know he says what happened pretty early on because he knows, but in the book he does not remember what happened and what put him in the facility, and he doesn't remember how long he's been in the facility. But the basic story is he's bipolar, and it's him coming out of the facility and trying to get back into his life, and his main goal is that he needs to get into shape and read a bunch of books and make himself more knowledgeable so he can get back together with his wife, Nikki. That's his, supreme goal. And in the book, there's a lot of focus about how Pat has this idea that his life is like a movie produced by God, and if he works hard enough, he'll get his happy ending. The thing that's so great about this book is that there's just this real honesty about it, and a lot of that comes from Pat and his just straightforward earnestness that in the way he narrates. Obviously his worldview is oftentimes very, very warped and sometimes just straight up unreliable, but there's just this earnestness in the way he talks and this youthful simplicity in the way he observes the world, and just this optimism that's just glowing off the way he speaks. And it's hard not to love him and root for him, as unconventional of a character as he is. But I think there's also real honesty to the way that mental illness is portrayed, and I think a lot of times there's a tendency to represent mental illness as, oh, someone's screaming and then they're sobbing and then they're laughing all within the span of a few minutes. But the truth is, a lot of people who have bipolar, it's just there's pretty, normal a lot of times, but certain things trigger certain moods or reactions, and I just really want to commend Matthew Quick for representing mental illness in this really human, realistic light. It just really speaks volumes for the story, and it really makes Pat's situation and Tiffany's situation very relatable, even if you don't have an illness. But there's also a humor aspect to this book. Pat is really funny whether he means to be or not, and that is also a great aspect to it, I thought, as well. The narrative flies along really steadily. The chapters are short, so it's a breezy read, but I think the chapters structurally go well with the story and Pat's POV. Overall, this was a great read, and I really recommend it. Now, going on to the movie. The movie is, of course, one of my favorite movies. I love it so much. The main difference between the book and the movie, I thought, well, there's a lot of differences, but Pat's father, Patrick, and Tiffany are way bigger presences in the movie, and the character of Randy in the movie isn't even in the book. And, I mean, obviously, there were times where I was like, oh, I wish Tiffany was in the book more, but then at the same time, it works, it makes sense. But one of the key things that I think makes The Silver Linings Playbook, the movie, such a strong movie is that it stays true to the heart and the core of the book, which I was talking about this in my young adult book to movie adaptations video, and if you want to check that out, you can click my hand right here and I will link you over there. But there's a lot of surface things that are changed in the movie from the book, and I see that now after having experienced both forms of the story, but it didn't bother me because the movie stays true to the core of that story and representing mental illness in a realistic light and speaking to that we all have these issues, we all have these things that make us weird, but we're all connected through that, and I think that reads really well through in the movie, and it stays true to that core that the book is going for. The performances in the movie are phenomenal. I think Jennifer Lawrence, although Tiffany is a much smaller part in the book, Jennifer Lawrence really gets Tiffany to a T, and same with Bradley Cooper. Just, he is Pat. And I think Robert De Niro was a very perfect choice for the father, because even though the father was a very pretty small part in the book, I think Robert De Niro properly broadened the part in a way that it needed to be brought out more in a movie sense. There's some things that just needed to be changed from the book in order for it to read well as a movie. So I think the surface changes that they made to plot in the movie were very seamless and necessary. So I give 5 stars to both the movie, both the book, and I recommend both of them. They're very different, but also they have this one chord uniting them. And if you have reservations about reading the book, if you've already seen the movie, I would advise that go for it, read the book, because it really is a different experience. You get a lot more into, it's a lot more about Pat's healing and Pat's journey as opposed to, the dance plot Tiffany thing that is more focused on in the movie. But it's really just going to enhance what you've already seen in the movie, and vice versa. If you read the book, definitely go watch the movie, because it's a phenomenal movie with a phenomenal cast. So thank you guys so much for watching. That's my thoughts on the Silver Linings Playbook book and movie. Such a great story. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep on reading, guys. Bye!